ETSU is in first place in the 9th best college basketball conference in the NCAA. So how to get them more exposure? Hi everybody, I'm Marky, Billson, and yeah, today's game, 4 p.m. tip-off against the Citadel. ETSU, a 10.5-point favorite, 9-5, Citadel 9-4 overall, but a lot of that has to do with scheduling. The SoCon, ETSU is 5-1, the Citadel is 2-4. The reason why ETSU is in first place in the Southern Conference is because of the Citadel. Citadel is coming off a 77-68 victory against Wofford, who had previously been in first place in the SoCon. The way they did it, shooting the threes. Citadel hit on 52% of their three-point shots. Wofford just 17. Another reason why, and I wonder if it wasn't because, there was a COVID postponement of games for the Citadel. They had a week layoff, so they're a little bit rested. And they went on a 14-0 run at the end of the first half. Actually, the run went into the second half as well. But Citadel was down 14 early in that game to Wofford, but that 14-0 run tied it up. Then the Citadel began converting their threes, really put the game away. And yeah, big turnaround right there in the ball game, and that's what brought the Citadel into Johnson City. And really, I don't play for the team, but with the Buccaneers, gratitude, if you will. Okay, so there you go. This does have the opportunity to be a trap game for ETSU. I mean, in this conference this year, anything can happen, as we've said. I know that's a cliche, but let's not forget 3 years ago, the Citadel came into Johnson City, beat ETSU towards the season, and really put the Buccaneers into collapse. They lost their last 3 games of the regular season, lost the Southern Conference Championship, did not win the tournament, and so that loss to the Citadel is really what greased their skids out of the NCAA tournament. So the Citadel is capable of doing this, and don't forget, it also is one of those games you might just overlook because Wofford in Spartanburg comes up on Monday night for ETSU. That being said, with the Citadel in town, I should, wait a minute, before I do this, I want to point this out. There are 2 other things going on with ETSU everybody should know about. Demario Monsanto, talented forward, scored 22 points in the Buccaneers' last victory against Furman. That was a week ago. ETSU had a postponement their game against Chattanooga on Wednesday, so ETSU is rested. Now, they haven't played well when coming in off of breaks. They've had 2 two-week breaks and lost their first game as ETSU after those 2-week breaks. However, 2-week breaks, not 1-week break. And I'm inclined to believe that a 1-week break keeps you fresh, a 2-week break puts you out of sync. It's just from what I see in college basketball this season, the way that I'm reading the tea leaves. Another reading of the tea leaves, and this is just purely an idea I have. I haven't run this by anybody in the Southern Conference. I have no idea if they're thinking this way or not. But I want to throw it out there. The Citadel comes in, and, today is Saturday. It's the day of the next star game of the week of the Southern Conference, which once again is not being shown in Johnson City. In fact, it only gets shown in Johnson City if ETSU is playing, be it in football or in basketball. And yeah, this is not a good TV deal that the Southern Conference has. SoCon, like I said, ranked number 9 RPI in all of college basketball. In the last few years, the top 9 teams in college basketball, I should say the top 9 conferences in college basketball, all get multiple bids. It's never happened in the SoCon before, but you know that they are inching towards it. Could it be this year in this, not a top-heavy, but a good league from top to bottom? Well, we'll have to wait and see. But nevertheless, exposure would certainly help the Southern Conference's cause, as well as getting one of these nice TV deals with a little bit of coin, that sort of thing. But right now, ETSU's conference, the Southern Conference, is basically streaming along with everybody else on ESPN Plus. You got to pay the money. I know in the era of cord cutting, $5 a month may not sound that much for ESPN Plus, but, you get a lot of sports that you really don't care about. Basically, every mid-major is on ESPN Plus these days. So that game of the week not being aired locally, and really Nexstar only has 3 affiliates in the Southern Conference, what do? There's been a lot of talk with the Atlantic Sun adding football, and they're expanding, and the WAC is as well, and so they'll expand. What about the Southern Conference? I don't necessarily think that they're going to get plucked away. I think the schools in the SoCon want to be in the SoCon, but need a better TV deal. Right now, as I said, number 38, that's the largest TV market in the league. It's the Asheville-Greenville-Spartanburg market, which is split 3 ways with Western Carolina, with Furman, and with Wofford. So you're looking at, number 38, but yeah, you're splitting it up in the fan base and all this. How does that resonate? By the way, there are 210 TV markets in the United States. Most of the Southern Conference's locations of their member schools are in top 100 markets. That's good, but not a lot of top-heavy markets, not a lot of potential eyeballs when it comes to the big markets. So the Citadel in town, I want you to consider this. How about joining in sports, other than football, of course, Army and Navy? Hey, that fits in real well with the military aspect of the Southern Conference. And heck, Navy is south of the Mason-Dixon line. But you know what else Navy is in? One of the top 25 markets in the country. You know what Army's in? The number 1 market in the country. And New York is not difficult to get to by way of air. The and you'd keep all the great military rivalries. Heck, you'd expand the military rivalries. I mean, you'd be having Army and Navy play the Citadel and VMI. That would actually help make those schools, in my opinion, somewhat stronger, and the military schools would all be, with the exception of Air Force, in the same conference. They'd all be, with their peers, so to speak. Now, right now, Army and Navy are in the Patriot League for basketball and, shall I say, the other sports, but just think about baseball. Don't you think Army would rather be in the Southern Conference for baseball than the Patriot League and freezing their tuchus off in March? Of course they would. It's worthwhile to make the overture, in my opinion, to Army and Navy to join the Southern Conference, to be with peer institutions like the Citadel and VMI, and for the Southern Conference to reap the rewards of the television markets, which could net them a better cable deal than what they have before. Old ETSU fans like me, I hate to say old, I think young, but nevertheless, I can remember the ASUN days when you had the Friday night Atlantic Sun game of the week. Heck, I can remember when WJHL used to air every ETSU game during the glory days of the ETSU program. Lots of exposure for the Bucks back then, lots of exposure for the Southern Conference. Don't have it anymore. Army and Navy could help bring that back, thus making the Southern Conference legitimately the Southern Atlantic 10 Conference for college basketball. What do you think? Folks, I'm Marky Billson. I ask that you subscribe to my YouTube channel to be the 300th follower of my Medium page, and also follow me on Twitter at Billson Marky. Don't forget 2 L's in Billson, and Marky is M-A-R-K-Y.